So Scott Talley coming to you live from the worldwide headquarters of Network in Action. And we have the made famous Maria Garcia, the principal of Memorial Elementary, with us this morning. It's taken a little bit of a journey. Maria was on her way over here the other day when a boulder hit her windshield. That's the biggest rock I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness. We didn't even know what happened. We thought we'd been shot.
Oh my God.
It was
scary,
crazy.
Scary. Where were you? What part of town?
We were coming from Austin from an IB workshop, so it was right around Brenham. So
well, let's just jump in. IB workshop. So Maria, let's start first with your background a little bit. You've been at HISD how long, and where were you before Memorial?
So let me start from the very beginning. I'm a proud Houston ISD graduate. I graduated from Northside High School, formerly known as Jeff Davis High School. From there, I went to Sam Houston State University, where I got my degree in teaching. I started working for Aldine ISD, which is just the district north of HISD, and I was there for about 20 years. Wow. I was a teacher, assistant principal, and a principal there. And then a wonderful opportunity became available, and I was able to join Team HISD. So awesome. I started as the principal of Memorial Elementary 4 years ago. I just finished 4 years. We're starting our 5th year.
Awesome. Tell me what it was like the first day you got there and you started pouring over records and you started seeing attendance and you started, what were the top 2 or 3 challenges, would you say?
I like to always start with the positive. I feel like it was great seeing that it was a wonderful community of teachers and students that really wanted to continue to grow. Yeah. I think one of the challenges was we were having a lot of students coming from different parts of the city. So that makes it a little bit hard to have continuity in the children being there year after year. Since I've been there, I feel like we worked really hard in just improving our instructional program. Our student achievement has increased tremendously. We have been working really hard, and I just can't wait for the state to release our report card. I feel we're going to be an 8 school.
Right.
So
if any of you are students out there, here's a principal waiting for her report card. How about that?
Right? So our report card should be coming up, should be released sometime in early August.
That's exciting. And that's where you really see the fruits of your labors and the fruits of all the people that are working so hard. That teachers they're not in it for the money, right? I mean, they're dedicated. They love the kids. They love to educate.
They really are dedicated. We have been able to keep our teachers year after year. I mean, of course, every year somebody has to move, but for the most part, our family has remained consistent the last couple of years. And this year, we're really, really excited because as we're getting ready for next school year, we're planning our implementation of the IB program.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So I want to ask you, so just talking generally about schools, and don't be too humble because I feel like I know the answer to this, but really it's not unlike a business. I mean, this really at the end of the day comes down to leadership. And I know you don't want to take too much credit, but you were able to come into the school, sort of see where the problems were, rally the parents first and the students, and then the teachers. And that's critical, right, to hang on, to have that retention with the teachers and the students.
So I feel that our teachers were very eager and very willing to see their children succeed and their students succeed. And the same thing with their parents. And we had to do a little bit of tweaking our instructional program. We really, really delved into reading instruction and math instruction because that's kind of the core of elementary school. And every year we've seen continuous growth. Yeah. And so we're really, really excited about the things that we've done with our instructional program. I always feel like you never stop growing.
Right.
And so
we're in trouble if we have a principal that thinks we've stopped growing.
Exactly. So we're always growing. We're always trying to get better. And what has been just a really interesting turning point has been that it's just extended to not just our school, but the community. So now we have a lot of community involvement in our school.
We're going to talk about that. So just to be transparent, I have a son that's in kindergarten, graduated from pre-K last year, had the most phenomenal experience, and I'm going to lead right in. So we have a lot of young parents who will be listening to this who live in Crestwood, who live in Rice Military in the area around the West End. And historically, I've been here 31 years. Historically, I jokingly say that the school was like Alcatraz. Nobody wanted to go over there. Nobody wanted to go. It's like, I don't know how rumors get started. I mean, how bad can a kindergartner be, right? And now that's changed. But for people who are like first time starting to look at schools, explain to them what a dual language school is like Memorial.
So a dual language school it's a very exciting place to be. Our goal is to make sure that all of our students are bilingual, biliterate, and bicultural.
So I want you to say that again. Their goal is to have every student bilingual.
But we have to start small, of course. Yeah. We have 2 tracks. We have our dual language track, and we have students whose native language is English. And our goal is that by the time they leave 5th grade, they are fully bilingual.
I mean, from a business standpoint, what could be more important in Texas than being bilingual?
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, our Spanish-speaking students, they already have a second language, but then we want them to really be proficient in the English language too.
So talk to me about that. How does that work? So you've got 2 students side by side, one who maybe is more proficient in Spanish, and one obviously comes from an English-speaking background. What happens in the classroom?
So a really magical thing happens when it comes to language. Children are not afraid to experiment. They're risk takers. And so they're learning from each other. So when there's a specific designated time for English instruction, then the Spanish speakers are learning from the English speakers. And then when it's the opposite language of instruction, then the second language learners are learning from the other peer.
In a way, it's unfortunate that every school isn't dual language, but what a gift that we have this right in the heart of Memorial Park, and the importance of having dual language. And I can tell you it works. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old who go to a different school. My little man, I think I told you this story, my little man, John Carlo, came home after about 2 months at pre-K, and his teacher, Mr. A, who he loves to death, he said, "My name is not John Carlo anymore." I said, "Well, what is your name?" "It's John Carlo." So he's getting it, and it's funny to watch his accent is so much better than his older sister's just in a half of a year.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it really works.
I mean, at that age, I just feel like they're little sponges. They don't overanalyze like we do as adults. They're going to immerse themselves in the language, and that's what's so beautiful about that.
That's awesome.
Learning a language at a young age.
So in the last few years, we're going to talk about just the achievements in the new report card. So some of the things that the state evaluates you guys on, and that parents will be impressed with the change at Memorial Elementary. Where has the school been lifted up a bit?
So this is a really interesting year. The Texas Education Agency is now switching from one accountability system to a different one. So in the previous accountability system, it was just 2 categories. You either met standard or you did not meet standard, which you are considered an IR school. Memorial has always been a school that has met standard. Our goal has always been to continue to improve instruction. So the state of Texas does give us some specific recognitions. And so we went from not having any to now earning 4.
Wow.
And you can earn up to 6. This year, of course, we're switching to an A through F student accountability system. So
we've gone from being graded through nothing to 6, and we've got to a 4, and now we're going to actually have a grade.
Right, and that's all. It's going to be, you're going to be either an A school, a B school, a C school, a D school, or an F school.
Do they take into account like students that need additional help, or are they graded the same way as like a high-performing child?
So the beautiful thing about this accountability system is that it looks at all the kids. It looks at different components, one of them being student growth. So you could be a high-achieving student, a student that we consider GT, and we want you to continue to grow and continue to grow and maintain your achievement. And then we may have other students that may have come to our educational system with lacking some skills, and they may not have been successful in their assessments. But from year to year, we're also looking at growth. Did they grow? Did they go from scoring in the 60s to now scoring in the 70s? And so it looks at all the kids. It just doesn't look at the kids that are failing, but it also keeps really great tabs on the students that are doing really well. So we get points in different domains, one of them being, how many students passed, but then the other one is, are they actually growing? It's not just about passing, but it's, are you growing? Are you maintaining your...
Yeah, it's really been incredible to watch just the little time I've been watching, which is just about 1.5 years, to see the changes. And I know you're going to poo-poo this, but it goes back to the leadership, and we're really blessed to have you. The community is, and those teachers. But there's a lot of other exciting things going on. So let's talk about 2 or 3 of those. The Urban Harvest. Wildly successful. We've been at it only about 10 months now, right? So tell everybody what the Urban Harvest is and how it impacts the school and the kids.
So we're very lucky that our school has this beautiful garden in the back of the school, and
as it should. I mean,
as
we're
it
Memorial
should.
Park, right?
As it should. And Urban Harvest has been just instrumental in making sure that our students are learning about, sustainable gardens and how do we get the produce that gets, turned into a meal at home. The educator from Urban Harvest comes once a week, and they meet with different classes, and they just talk about different topics related to, how do we plant fruits and vegetables and just the life cycle. Just really wonderful things for the students to see it hands-on, because science should be hands-on. You should be able to see it in action too.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen by accident. Tammy Hamilton took the lead on this, right? Tammy is a retired resident of Crestwood, right outside the school, has great passion for the school, great passion for everything. She's a wonderful person, and she took the lead, and because this isn't free, don't we pay $10,000
No, it's not.
a year?
I mean, Tammy Hamilton has been just a blessing to our school.
Yeah.
She is, very hands-on, very motivated, and willing to go the extra mile to do whatever it takes to make sure that our students are getting the best out there. Urban Harvest is about $10,000 a year that we have to pay, and she's been.
So if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, let me just get a little plug here. You can contact us, but contact Maria or the school, or I'm going to talk about Lift Memorial in a little bit, but there's a great opportunity to volunteer manpower, sweat, equity. We, for 4, 5, 6 times a year, we'll have an event there. We also need donations to continue the Urban Harvest. But it's a great program. I mean, I know that my kids think that the food comes from McDonald's, right? So it doesn't come through the drive-thru. We got to educate them, and it's so valuable. It's really incredible to watch it. It's really beautified the campus as well. In addition to Urban Harvest, you mentioned on your way back from Austin that boulder that hit your car. You were there not having fun in the crazy town of Austin, but you had some teachers with you. We have a really exciting upgrade, I believe, in the school. So we have so many people that move into Crestwood and the surrounding areas that maybe come from foreign countries. They might come from France or Europe or whatever. And the school is in the midst of becoming...
Well, we're in the midst of becoming an IB campus. It is,
and that means what to our listening audience that's not familiar with IB?
The International Baccalaureate is a world-known program that is implemented in schools from elementary school all the way to high school. Yeah. We're very lucky that in our community, our students feed into middle school, which is Hogg, and then high school, which is Lamar. And both of those schools already have the IB program. So a child transferring out of grade school into middle school and then on to high school in this part of Houston benefits from having the same type of curriculum all the way through. Right. It's been a long time coming, and it's an exciting project. It's a couple of years, right, to fully implement? Yes, it is. So they're very strict guidelines, and the IB organization wants to make sure that we are indeed implementing the program with fidelity. So it's about a 2-year candidacy phase, which, in these next 2 years, we're going to be implementing the philosophy and just the ideals behind IB. And then after 2 years of implementation, we'll talk to our consultant and we'll schedule an authorization visit. And at that moment, people from the IB organization will come into our school, and they'll spend time with our students, our parents, our teachers, just making sure that we are really embracing IB. So in the immediate area, I know that River Oaks Elementary is an IB school. Garden Oaks is a Montessori, not IB, right? I don't believe they're Garden Oaks, yes. Yeah. So, but also Harvard Elementary is IB. Yep. So it's just an awesome transition, and it just goes along. It could have never happened again without the school being headed in the right direction. If you can imagine trying to change gears with students who are failing or not doing well. So it's really awesome how this momentum is building. IB also is not free. We had to raise money to petition the HISD, and that's been done. And then each of the teachers have to be trained and instructed. There's a cost for that. These teachers were donating their time
And so we want to make a little stipend available. This has all been made available by the goodness of people in the community who many of them don't have students, or most of them I would say don't have students at Memorial, who just want to help and participate and make sure that the school thrives. It makes so much sense if you're an owner of real estate in the area to have a thriving school. I mean, when I grew up, I walked to school, and that's why I love having my Giancarlo there. We're literally will be planning to ride his little bicycle next year, and I'm hoping over the years to come that we'll see lots of bicycles there. So the IB program is another program that you can get behind if you're passionate about the school and passionate about the kids there and the teachers and want to support everyone. It's awesome, and it's happening. And I mean, it seemed to happen so fast just in the last 8 months. It was a concept. It was an idea. It was you all were meeting with the people to try to figure out it was the right path, and then boom, under your leadership again, we've got teachers being trained already, right?
Right. So the first round of training, the leadership team already attended the leadership training, but our teachers are attending training August 1st and 2nd.
Awesome.
And so we're really excited about all that.
I can't wait to see the IB sign go up in front of the school.
We'll be here before you know it.
Yep, it's awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about the things you've seen in your history. What makes a school? So we all know River Oaks Elementary has been like the jewel of HISD, in grade school and stuff. And I've got a chance to observe both from close. Tell me, great leadership, continuity of students and teachers, parent involvement, and community involvement.
I believe that the principal and the teachers and the students, are huge. But without your community behind you, it's an uphill battle. And that has been the change that I have seen in our community. Really, the last 2 years, with Lift Memorial coming.
Well, the PTO. I'm talking about the PTO a little bit. You've got this cluster of just dedicated, loving, kind, giving mothers primarily. Probably some fathers there, but probably mostly mothers who just work tirelessly. And I mean, sometimes I'll hear about the fall festival and the money they raised, and I'm like, the fun run thing. I'm like, wait a minute, how did they do that? I mean, incredible people doing incredible things. And so the PTO is, to me, the foundation of starting the community involvement.
Oh, definitely. Our current president, Ms. Broussard, she has been just instrumental. I always feel like your dreams have to be so much bigger than you can imagine.
That's
and
right.
That's just her philosophy, and there's no goal too little. She's always willing to go above and beyond, and she has just been able to lead a lot of the parents into really investing their time into our school so that it could be the best that it can be.
It's awesome. And then along came a guy named David Miracle maybe a year or so ago. I met David through just an invite on Facebook to attend a meeting about people in the community that might be interested. And I always wondered why we didn't give Memorial Elementary a shot. I mean, that's the bottom line, is people who live a few blocks away and wouldn't even have an 18-year-old that's on her way to college that I sent through private school. And it's just a ridiculous amount of money. And I question today whether or not the investment was worth it, but that's done now. But we're doing everything we can to give people an option, and people need to take a look. So we're going to talk a little bit. David started an organization, Crystal, we're the forefront of that, and called Lift Memorial, and it's liftmemorial.org. And their goals are really incredible. They've helped with the Urban Harvest so far. They've raised enough money to really get the IB off the ground and get that, know that we have a future there. We're now working on a fairly large investment. What difference will computers and technology make in all the classrooms?
It will make a huge difference.
Where are we now, in terms of how many computers or which classrooms are?
So our goal is to get to the point that we have a 1-to-1 ratio between device and student. Right now, I would say we're about 5-to-1 ratio.
5-to-1. So I want you to think about that. We're in one of the richest areas of the city. Land values have gone through the roof. They're spending $100 million on the park. And our students at Memorial Elementary all don't have access to a tablet or a computer, the needs that they have. And this community has shown already the generosity that they have. We just need people to be aware that your money is staying right here in your backyard. It's helping increase your property values. It's giving these kids a better life. Right. It's giving the teachers the support they need. Our teachers go out and spend their own money on school supplies. It's crazy when I see that. So I know that people have a a desire to see this be successful. And I just want to let them know that besides the Urban Harvest, if your passion is the garden and outdoors, we'd love your help. If you really think that IB education is the way to go, like most of us do, then we can use your help there. But certainly this last task, not last, but the next task up for us is to raise the money to provide the students with tablets. So.
Right. And I know last year, PTO and, some contributions from Lit Memorial allowed us to buy a new computer card. So a computer card was made up of 25 Chromebooks, and the students used them religiously, last year. So our goal is to buy another computer card. So, we do have a 3-year plan, so that slowly but surely we're adding to the technology in the building. But just like anything, technology is also, it's moving so fast that before you know it, it's like, oh, they're out of date. You got to get some new ones. But in the meantime, we're definitely making sure that our students are using them to complete their projects, to do their presentations, and also to do some blended learning where they're just learning in the classroom from the teacher, but they're also from computer programs.
That's awesome. So we have so much going on, and we're so grateful because without you being there, I don't think a lot of us would have seen that this could all happen. I mean, you started it all with your leadership, and it's being continued by the generosity of great people all over near and dear to the school. So if you'd like to get involved, we do have all kind of activities. I'd encourage you to follow either the school's website or liftmemorial.org, and you'll find out information. You'll be seeing from time to time mailers that we send out to the community to keep you updated on the progress. We have one going out shortly, and all we're waiting on is that report card.
That's right. It's coming up in about 2 more weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, but thank you so much for everything you do for the school. It's really appreciated from a father who's planning to have his kid there the next few years. It's awesome. Thanks so much.
Well, no, thank you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.